Good morning. Welcome to the United Church of Strafford, Vermont on this first Sunday after Epiphany and Story Sunday. It is a joy to have you here, both in person and online. And for me, it's a tremendous joy to get to hear three of my favorite storytellers and teachers today, Rachel Goraldi, and Danette Harris, and Joey Hawkins. So thank you three so much for the inspiration for this Sunday and for all the loving care that you've put into it. This service follows an unusual order of worship. So if you are online, be sure to see the bulletin that you can find on if you go to the menu on the top of the welcome page of our website. You can find the bulletin there. Please also see the announcements in the bulletin. Please note especially the announcements from our Fulfilling Our Vision Committee. Kate Rymanis, I know, plans to be here, and she was going to make these announcements. Maybe I'll give her another minute or two and see if she comes through the door. There's no childcare today, but we do have some quiet toys at the back of the sanctuary if you need them, and also the parish hall has everything you could possibly want or need. But we encourage children to stay in the sanctuary for the whole service. So let's see. An announcement about masks and COVID. We decided to keep our mask mandate a little bit longer just because the hospitalizations have gone up. We're really eager to move beyond this stage, and we're so eager that we decided to have refreshments today. So there are going to be refreshments, and the compromise is please just kind of take your mask down when you're eating and drinking and put it back up in between times. So please stay after the service for refreshments. Kate, are you ready to make an announcement? All right, here, let me give you, wait, hold on. Actually, your timing is perfect.
Yeah, well, first, I have to say hi to all my preschool friends and their families. It's really great to see you here. And then I have two church announcements. One is and all the information's in the bulletin, so you can read it too. One is we're inviting everyone to complete a survey, and there are paper copies in the back. Many of you have received email copies. Please return it by the 22nd. There's a folder in back where you can return it. You can snail mail it to the church, or you can return it electronically. Basically, this survey is asking what you want to learn about the open and affirming process that we're going through as a church. And I realize some of you maybe aren't familiar with this, but we're in the middle of a process of finding out how we can really be welcoming to all. That's part of our mission, but it's not enough to just say it, that all are welcome. We want to really learn how to be that. So we're going through a number of educational workshops and programs, and we just want to hear what the congregation and the community is wanting to learn. So that's what the survey is. The second announcement is related to that, in that next Sunday we're going to have a visitor. Jeffrey Tupper-Giles is from, what church? I forget. Barry Congregational Church. And he's done a lot of work with this process of becoming open and affirming. So he's going to come and help lead the service with Pastor Tom and help us learn more about how we can be really friendly and kind. And that's right the day before Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so it's great timing, and all are welcome.
That's good, thank you, Kate. Other announcements? Yeah.
Good morning. I'm really excited to be here with you leading a good portion of this worship. I'm Rachel Garaldi, and I tested this morning for COVID and tested negative, so I'll be unmasked today so that I can do the music and the stories and all of that.
And I guess the other announcement is an invitation, so please linger after the service to extend your care and support and appreciation to one another. As a loving and beloved community. Today we're asking the question, who is God? And loving community, beloved community is one of the most beautiful answers to that question. And I hope those of you on Zoom will also extend your care and support to one another. And I will set up my laptop so that we can visit with you after the service if you linger.
So throughout this worship today, we'll have some songs, we'll have some stories. I'm going to do a little felt board message, and I'll be inviting those who are young and young at heart to come up at different points. If you can't see, any of you can't see in the back, feel free to move forward. But I'm going to start, and I'm going to end this worship with a song by Carrie Newcomer called A Gathering of Spirits. And one of the beautiful things about this story is it really talks about us as a gathering of spirits here and now, a festival of friends, and that each time we come to church, we pick up where we left off the last time that we met. So as you learn the chorus, you're welcome to sing along. And again, I will sing this at the end as well. Let it go, my love, my truest love. Let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, and it's such a fine thing. We're a gathering of spirits and a festival of friends. We'll pick up where we left off when we all meet again. I can't explain it, couldn't if I tried, how the only things we carry are things we hold inside, like a day out in the open, like the love we won't forget, like the laughter that we've started and hasn't died down yet. Let it go, my love, my truest love, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, and it's such a fine thing. We're a gathering of spirits, we're a festival of friends, and we'll pick up where we left off when we all meet again. Oh yeah, don't we, and don't we make it shine, and aren't we in the middle of something rare and fine? Some glow like the embers or light through colored glass, and some give it all in one great flame, throwing kisses as they pass. Let it go, my love, my truest love, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, and such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, we're a festival of friends, and we'll pick up where we left off when we all meet again. Yes, we'll pick up where we left off when we all meet again. So long, long ago, in a church far from here, it was a time where there were lots of people fighting, lots of people didn't have enough food to eat, lots of people were being unkind to each other. And in this place, in this church, people came together each Sunday to come to worship God, to pray. The things would be different. One Sunday, an old woman came to the church with a tiny, tiny little candle. It's just a stub of a candle. It was the last candle that she had in her house. And she brought it up to the altar, and the minister asked her, what is this candle for? She said, I would like to light it and pray. And the minister said, what would you like to pray for? She said, I would like to pray for peace. She said, I'd like to pray that the fighting would stop, that we would all have food to eat, that we would be kind to each other, and that this world would change. I would like to pray for peace. She said, I had a dream last night that if we lit this candle, and next Sunday we lit another candle, and the Sunday after that we lit a candle, maybe, just maybe, peace would come. And she offered her last candle to the church. So that Sunday they lit the candle and they prayed and asked God and asked each other for peace. And the next Sunday, another member of the church brought a little candle, and again, they prayed for peace. And they kept doing this Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, and the church in the next town heard that they were doing it, and they started lighting a candle each Sunday for peace. And then the next church, and then the next church, and soon all the churches in the country were lighting a candle on Sunday for peace. And the message spread, and it spread from country to country, from town to town, all around the world, so that when we light our candle for peace, a candle is being lit every hour all around the world for the same thing, that fighting will stop, that we will all have food to eat, that we will be kind to each other, that we will all have peace. So this morning, we will light that candle together. And you can join me with our prayer in your service booklet. In God was life, and the life was the light of the world. The light shines in the darkness, and darkness does not overcome it. Let us pray for peace and the things that make for peace as we light the peace candle. May there be peace on earth. And with this prayer, we are going to sing a peace song. And I was wondering if Gideon and anybody else who knows this song might want to come up and help me teach the hand signals. Would you like to come up? We're going to sing, I have peace like a river. Come up, Bear. We'll sing 3 verses all together, and the choir is going to help us. And while we sing, we're going to make some hand motions. You want to help me? So what is the I have peace like a river? What do we do for that one? I have peace like a river, right? A river. You make a river with your hands. And what's the next verse? This one? I've got joy like a fountain. I have joy like a fountain. And then the third verse? I've got love like an ocean. So you are all welcome to stand if you're able and join us in singing this song.
River.
love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. Thank you so much. So our theme for this morning is talking about who is God? What is God? What are the images of God that are alive for us? And so I invite all children, all those who are young at heart, all of you who cannot see this felt board to come on up. Come on up. You can sit on the floor. You can sit on the benches. Come on up. So we have many images that we use for God. Many ways that we think of God, that we feel God. There are many pictures in our minds, many ways that we think and know God. And each of those ways helps us know a part of God. Maybe you have an image of God in your mind. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't feel like you need an image of God right now. And that's okay. You might have many different images of God that are alive for you at different points of your life. We're going to spend a little time wondering and exploring a couple of those different images. There are many, many different ways that we think and experience and imagine God. The reason that there are so many different ways to know and think of God is that God is a mystery. Something that we experience, something that we know, but something we can't see. God is a mystery. And yet God is with us. God is with us, around us, within us, all the time. Yet we can't see God. Sometimes we experience God as light. Light that shines and shows us parts of ourselves. A light that is warm, keeps us safe. A light that reveals the truth around us. Is it a light, sometimes that inner light that guides us when we feel like we might be lost or we don't know the answer? God can be like that. God can be like the light. We also sometimes think of God as a breath. Breath is something we can't see, usually. But we know is there. Breath or air is something that gives us life. We have to breathe in order to live. It is in us and around us. In many languages, the word for breath is the same as the word for God or spirit. Spiritus, ruach, pneuma are all words for God, spirit, and breath. God can be like that too. Sometimes we think of God as water, a deep well that is never dry, an ocean, a river, a fountain. Water also gives us life and connects us to the waters of all of creation. Water sustains us and nurtures us. God can be like that too. We often say that God is love. It is a huge love, a love that is unending, a love without condition. It is a love that connects us to each other and to all of creation. It is a love that is deep, a love that is healing, a love that has space for all of our many emotions, for forgiveness, for change. God is like that too. Sometimes we think of God as a compass showing us what is true north and helping us never lose our way. God can be a guide. God can be there when we feel lost. A compass helps us when we don't know which way to go. God can be like that too. For many people, God is a person. We think of God as a person, and that is very alive for us. God is the most loving parent imaginable, a teacher, a friend, a shepherd, a builder, a potter, an artist. God as person helps us feel we can talk to someone when we are lonely, that we are loved by God when we need that presence. God can be all those things. These are some of the images of God, but there are many, many, many more. I wonder what image of God is alive for you. I wonder what you might put there. God is with us now and all the time. God is part of who we are and part of the world around us. And we can imagine how we might be in relationship with God. There are many images of God, and these different images help us know different parts of God. And I wonder what your image might be. Listening to this story, I wonder, what was your favorite part? Anyone is welcome to answer. Gideon? The light. Your favorite part was the light. Galilee? What was yours? Flowers. Yeah. I wonder what was your favorite part? Yes.
I like, you're talking about the story of the candle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I liked that it started and it spread
Mm.
from one to the next.
The story of the peace candle spreading, that the light spread from one to the next, all around. Yes.
I like the part when you said that God is like breath.
Breath. God is like breath.
Life is life, everything.
Breath. In Latin, spiritus. In Hebrew, ruach. And in Greek, pneuma. God is breath. I wonder what you might put here. Yes.
Yeah, I'm with Galilee in terms of flowers.
Mhm.
I think sometimes that God is an artist that has created this beautiful planet for us. With all
Mm.
these animals that can camouflage and have spots and stripes and flowers of every color and just these like delights that surround us in nature.
God is the artist of the whole world, all of the amazing plants and animals. Beautiful. Anyone else? Wonder what you would put here. Yes.
Music
Music.
of all sorts, from the natural world, the birds, to what humans create.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm trying to think of it in one word, but something about action.
Action. God is action. Sometimes we say that God is our hands and our feet that go out in the world. And I'm just repeating the things that people are saying without microphones so the folks on Zoom can hear. Wonder what you would put here. Anyone else? Yes. Life. God is life. Orson. God is a rocket ship. That's a great one. Thank you. Anyone else? Well, thank you so much for wondering with me. I would like us next to do something called a body prayer. It's when we use our bodies to move and to express. And before we go back to our seats and sing our next song, I'd like you all to stand up with me. And this is a repeat after me. So I welcome you to say what I say after I say it, okay? God is above me. God is above me. God is below me. God is below me. God is in front of me. God is in front of me. God is behind me. God is behind me. God is all around me. God is all around me. God is within me. God is within me. Let's do that one more time. God is above me. God is above me. God is below me. God is below me. God is in front of me. God is in front of me. God is behind me. God is behind me. God is all around me, all around me. And God is within me. God is with me. Thank you all. You're welcome to go back to your seats, and we're going to sing another song that I think some of you might know. Actually, before we sing a song, excuse me, we're going to hear some stories. So, you're welcome to go back to your seats or stay here. I'm sorry, I had that incorrect.
The first story is called, What is God Like? And like us, this person right here is wondering, just like we were wondering with Rachel, sitting here just thinking and wondering and wondering and wondering, just like we are. This is a thing a lot of people wonder about. What is God? What is God like? That's a very big question. One that people from places all around the world have wondered about since the beginning of time. And while nobody has seen all of God, because God is far too big for any of us to fully see, we can know what God is like. God is like an eagle, sharp-eyed and swift, with wings so wide you can play under their shadows. God is like a river, like we will sing today, constant and life-giving. When you grow near God, you'll sprout up strong as a tree. God is like the stars, forever present and bright. Even when they look and feel far away, you can always look up and see them winking at you. And God is like a shepherd, brave and good, a protector who loves her sheep so much that she watches over all of them and knows each one of them by their names. God is like a fort, strong and secure with walls that are mighty and safe. Inside, there are hidden places to hold you when you're scared or when you need a place to rest. And we all need that sometimes. God is like a gardener, patient and nurturing. God plants, waters, weeds, and fertilizes the earth until every good thing on it seeks the nourishing sun and grows. God is like the flame of a candle, warm and inviting. With God close by, you can look to the light and see through the darkest of nights. God is in that face, smiling at me. God is like the wind, passionate and full of mystery. God is both here and mysteriously also over there. God is everywhere, swirling throughout the world, whistling across mountain ranges, rustling through trees, and pressing against your cheeks on a breezy day. God is like an artist, creative and unpredictable, always busy making and remaking everything brilliant and new. God is like a mother, strong and safe. You can crawl up into her lap whenever you want to, and she will hold you until you fall asleep. God is like a father, gentle and safe. He will put you on top of his shoulders to give you a bird's eye view of all creation. I love this picture. Everybody dancing. Look at everybody dancing. God is like three dancers, graceful and precise. They move to the same music in very different ways, showcasing all of God's elegance and rhythm in your life. God is like a rainbow, vivid and full of color, a dazzling reminder of promise and hope for all people after a storm. And God is like a best friend, faithful and true, closer to you even than your brothers or sisters. And because we know what God is like, we know that God is kind, God is forgiving, God is slow to get angry, God is quick to be glad, and God is happy when you tell the truth and sad when things are unfair. She is your protector. He is trustworthy. They are friends when you feel all alone. God hopes. God perseveres. What is God like? That's a very, very big question. One that people from places all around the world, throughout all of time have answered in many different ways. Keep searching. Keep wondering. Keep on learning about God. But whenever you aren't sure what God is like, think about what makes you safe. Let's do this right now. Let's close our eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Think about what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel brave, and what makes you feel loved. Just feel that for a second. That's what God is like.
Thank you, Danette. We're going to listen to one more story before we have some wondering questions.
So this one is called In God's Name. And one thing that you might have noticed, I bet you all noticed it actually, if you were listening really carefully to Rachel and to Danette, is that all of these ideas about God all have something to do with things people need, don't they? So people need breath, a lot. People need water. People need love. People need light and warmth. People need to know where they're going. People need other people in all kinds of ways. And actually there's a lot more things that people need, which probably you're thinking about right now, or maybe you'll think about in the car on your way home. These people in this story are all different people from all over the world, all during time, who thought about what do they need and how could God fill that. So as you listen, just think about that. Just think about the needs that people are expressing. So here's the first picture. People look pretty happy. That picture, can you see? And it says here, after God created the world, all living things on earth were given a name. The plants and the trees, the animals and the fish, and each person, young and old, had a special name. But no one knew the name for God. They thought they did, but they didn't quite. So each person searched for God's name. And here's the first person. This is a farmer. So you can see her. She's probably working pretty hard. Farmers have to work pretty hard. And she says, the farmer whose skin was dark, like the rich brown earth from which all things grew, called God source of life. And here's the next picture of a girl who also has a name for God. The girl whose skin was as golden as the sun that turned night into day called God creator of light. And the man who tended sheep in the valley called God shepherd. This picture is important when we're talking about peace. That's a soldier who's seen a lot of suffering. You can tell he's been seeing a lot of suffering because he's kind of crying. The tired soldier who fought too many wars called God maker of peace. The artist who carved figures from the earth's hard stone called God my rock. But notice their names were different. They all had different names. Sometimes the people who called God by different names were puzzled. They said every living thing has a single name. The marigold, the pansy, and the lily, the oak tree, sequoia, and pine. So God must have a single name that is greater and more wonderful than all other names. So here comes mine is better. And here they are, not so happy with that problem. Each person thought their name for God was the greatest. Each person thought their name for God was the very best. The farmer who called God source of life said, this is the true name for God. The girl who called God creator of light insisted, this is the most splendid name for God. The shepherd, the soldier, and the artist believed each one had the perfect name for God. But no one listened, least of all God. And so each person kept searching for God's name. And here's more people trying they're working hard They're trying to answer this question that they all wonder about. What is God's name? So they're all giving it a try. The woman who cared for the sick called God healer. The slave who was freed from bondage called God redeemer. The grandfather whose hair was white with years called God ancient one. The grandmother who was bent with age and sorrow called God comforter. The young woman who nursed her newborn son called God mother. And the young man who held the hand of his baby daughter called God father. And the child who was lonely called God friend. All the people called God by different names. They tried to tell one another that their name was the best, the only name for God, and that all those other names were wrong. But no one listened, least of all God. And so each person kept searching for God's name. They're trying hard, aren't they? They're really trying hard because they care about it a lot. Then one day, look at this picture. This is an important picture. Here's all the people, all those different people. Then one day, the person who called God Ancient One, and the one who called God Friend, the one who called God Mother, and the one who called God Father, all the people who called God by a different name came together, and they knelt by a lake that was clear and quiet, like a mirror. And when you look in a mirror, you can see everything else, right? What do you know? Maybe they're going to learn something. Then each person who had a different name for God looked at the others who also had a different name. They looked into God's mirror and they saw their own faces, and all the other faces reflected back at them. And they called out their names for God all together. Source of life, creator of light, shepherd, maker of peace, my rock, healer, redeemer, ancient one, comforter, mother, father, friend, all at the same time. At that moment, look at their faces. At that moment, the people knew that all the names for God were good, and no name was better than another. And then all at once, their voices came together, and they called God One. Everyone listened, most of all, God.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Do you have a question?
Well, I saw in the book on
You saw in this book? Why don't you take a minute and I'll ask another question, okay? I wonder, in those two stories, what sparkled for you? What did you like the best in those two books? What sparkled?
the tiger.
You love the tigers? Mm-hmm. Yes.
I love the idea of God, giving life and the way the world works.
You love the way that God gives life and the way the world works? Thank you. What else did you love? What sparkled for you? Anyone? Anyone can answer. Yes.
The mama holding her baby.
The mama holding her baby. God is mother. And I welcome people on Zoom. If you have answers to these wondering questions, feel free as well. I wonder what sparkled for you. What did you like best? Yes, Jim.
I loved seeing two people reading aloud.
Two people reading aloud. Thank you. Yes, Joey.
I felt that for so long, all those people kept trying to figure it out.
For so long, those people kept trying to figure it out.
Like we're doing now,
Trying to figure it out. That it was important. They really wanted to know. Yes, Gideon, did you find your part?
I noticed that hill kind of looks like a human.
Gideon noticed that the hill in this picture looks like a person. God as earth. So I was thinking that maybe we could spend just a moment or two with the person next to you, or in the pew behind you, or the person, your friend, or maybe somebody that you don't know. I'm going to give you a moment to just, I wonder what image of God is most alive for you right now. Thinking of the many names of God, the many images of God, the many ways we know God. Take a minute with somebody near you and just talk about what's alive for you when you think of God. And as you're finishing up this question, my next for you to share with someone near you is, I wonder where you've seen God recently. Where have you seen God? How have you seen God recently? Is there anything from your time sharing with the person near you that you would like to share with the group? I can pass the... Anything about where you've seen God or the image of God that's most alive for you that you'd like to share as a group?
I think the image of God for me is everything.
Is everything?
Yeah.
What would you like to say?
I live like Tigers and Cooper Park where we camp.
Okay, thank you, Callie. Anyone else like to share anything that they talked with their friend about? Yes.
We really, I think a couple of us were thinking about those questions of what makes you feel safe, those four questions, and what makes you feel brave was particularly interesting to us because we are the ones who do things. Not, God is there, but we have a role to play as individuals, and we need to be brave to do that.
Thank you.
Danette and I saw God in all these little hands and feet and curious brains that are in our church this morning.
Thank you.
Well, I think of God like the father in the story of the prodigal son. No matter how far you stray away, no matter how long you stay away from God and get immersed perhaps in worldly things, when you turn around and come back, you will be received with open arms. No questions asked. So the image of God, the merciful one, who will be always there for us when we need him.
Thank you. Yes.
I think of God as just an idea that we've come up with to empower ourselves and make us feel safe and brave and all that stuff.
Thank you. Is anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else like to share? We'll talk later. Thank you. Want to come to me this time? So this is a familiar song to a lot of people. And I'm going to teach some hand motions, so you're welcome to stand up if you'd like. Oh, I'm good. Thank you, sweetie. You go back with Papa. So you've got your shaker if you'd like it. And the other thing is we all are going to have our little lights. Our little finger up is our little light. And this is our little light of mine. It's the light that shines from within. The light is around us. And in our song, we're going to have our little light. We're going to sing this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. Gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine, let it shine. Second verse is all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. You can do this. You can turn all the way around if you'd like. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. The next verse is hide it under a bushel. A bushel was a type of basket. So you hide it under a bushel. No, we don't hide our lights. We want to let them shine. So hide them under a bushel? No, I'm going to let it shine. And then the last verse is going to say, I won't let anyone puff it out. I won't let anyone it out. I'm going to let it shine. And then we'll sing the first verse again. Little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, all around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I won't let anyone it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, I won't let anyone it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. First verse again. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you, everyone. Well, let us come together and pray together. Dear God, breath, water, love, compass, father, mother, parent, friend, God who is present all around us and inside us. We spend this moment praying to you, God, to heal, to comfort, to empower our hands and our hearts and our feet to go out and be your force of love, of bravery, of safety in the world. God, we ask that you nourish, and you comfort, and you heal all who have been lifted up today in these prayers. That you walk alongside those in hard times, and you remind us how to be good neighbors and good friends in this community and in this world. God, we lift all of our prayers up to you, those that are spoken and unspoken, knowing that through you there are answers, there's movement forward, there is change. God, we put our faith in you that all things are possible. In your many names, amen. As we begin to draw this time of worship together to a close, we invite you to, in the spirit of prayer and the spirit of taking care of each other, just a reminder of our offering baskets in the back, and encouragement to think of the many ways that you give every day. There's a beautiful story about a child who comes to church and sees that his church is gathering baskets of food and clothing for a family whose house has burned down. He tugs on his mother's sleeve and says, "We have so little. What can we give?" And she looks lovingly at him and says, "My dear child, whatever you give, the perfect gift comes from the heart." And that night he goes back to his home and he draws pictures and makes them into a little book. And he brings them back and he slips them into one of the baskets. And the basket goes to a family, the family whose house had burned down, and the little girl who lived there opened it up, and it is her very first book and toy in her new place. And the little boy goes back home to his house with his mother, and there on their steps is a basket of food to help them through the winter. So as we as a church help each other in many ways, both financially and from our heart in so many ways, may I encourage you to seek out those ways to support each other, the work we do here as a church, and the rest of the community. Thank you. And so we come to an end of wondering together. But it is not an end of wondering about God, about the world. It's not an end of wondering what stories are in our lives and how we live out those stories every day. So as you go forth here with perhaps new friends, new ideas, new imaginations, I encourage you to keep wondering, what is God? Who is God? Where do I see God each and every day? So I close our service with the same song that we started with. And if you'd like to sing along, if you've picked up the chorus, you are more than welcome to. Let it go, my love, my truest love. Let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, and such a fine thing. We're a gathering of spirits, we're a festival of friends, and we pick up where we left off when we all meet again. I can't explain it, couldn't if I tried, how the only things we carry are things we hold inside. Like a day out in the open, like the love we won't forget, like the laughter that we've started that hasn't died down yet. Let it go, my love, my truest love, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, and such a fine thing. We're a gathering of spirits, we're a festival of friends, and we'll pick up where we left off when we all meet again. Oh yeah, didn't we? And don't we make it shine? And aren't we in the middle of something rare and fine? Some glow like the embers, or light through colored glass, and some give it all in one great flame, throwing kisses as they pass. Let it go, my love, my truest love, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, and it's such a fine thing. We're a gathering of spirits, we're a festival of friends, and we'll pick up where we left off when we all meet again. Yes, we'll pick up where we left off when we all meet again. Thank you, friends. Becky's going to play just some folksy music. You're welcome to get up and return the music instruments and join us in the back for fellowship.